Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another trailer breakdown video. So if you're not familiar with this, my thing is I'm going to watch this trailer, I'm going to pause it every now and then. So if you really want to watch the trailer for, just everything that it is and come back and listen to my thoughts and opinions, this is all just in the moment. So don't expect like perfect editing or anything else like that. We're going to pause it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to share thoughts and opinions, probably more so at the end because this is just 40 seconds. And I'm really excited about this Purge television show. Not only the people who are in it, but the concept that we're getting it anyway. I mean, whoever thought that the Purge would be one of the biggest horror franchises of the 2010s? I mean, I certainly did it. It was like a cool concept, but now it's kind of grown into something completely new and just original, and we can expect it every single summer, or at least once every other summer or something like that, to the point where it's literally our 4th of July movie franchise tradition. That's not like a superhero movie thing or anything else like that. It's a horror movie franchise that deals a whole lot with race politics and just what it is to be American in this day and age. I mean, for heck, I'm trying not to swear or anything else like that, but who saw this coming? I know I didn't, but there's part of me that really appreciates it, enjoys it, and I really want this series to be good. I have my thoughts and opinions as to why I feel like this film franchise or television or extended universe or something else like that needs to evolve, but I'll get to that after this trailer. I just want to jump right into this. There's not a whole lot here, like I said, 40 seconds, but we'll just talk about it as we see it.
We are just minutes away from the start of this.
So first of all, pretty 10-episode event on USA coming out this year after the 4th film. The Purge franchise has never been anywhere near this strong. I can't believe that this year in particular we're getting such a huge influx of Purge content. Being a fan of it myself, I'm really excited about it. But generally it looks pretty well done. I mean, I can't, like I said, all off the top of my head, everybody. So, generally it looks pretty well done. We're just going to have to wait and see. I mean, obviously, you can only do so much with the television budget and 10 episodes versus a movie. So, when we get into some of the Purge scenes later on in the trailer, it just doesn't look as well as what it does in the movies. But hopefully, they can find a way around that and tell a more compelling story. One of the things they've talked about in the past is that this television show is going to be around 30 to 70%, split up between non-Purge stuff and then Purge stuff. So I bet a vast majority of the television show, probably the last 6 episodes or something, is going to be all about the Purge night. Maybe the last episode is like what happens right after it, but those first 2 episodes are going to be the couple days before, or maybe just an influx of character exposition or something like that going into the very end of the show, or something that gives us an idea of who these people are, what their lives are like outside the Purge situation, and then how it leads up to that one fateful 12-hour period each year.
This glorious holiday.
So what it looks like here, I'm going to go back here just for a second. It looks like we have, people getting chained up. We have these parties going on where people are in masks. We've seen this before and how people really do their purges, especially the richer people in the situation. They have people, taken from their families. They pay the families handsomely so they don't have to put themselves in danger, and they don't have to do anything that remotely resembles anything threatening to who they are as individuals, so they can purge and they can take part in this American tradition, but it's not overly savage. But at the same time, it really is supposed to be there to symbolize in a visual, greatly understandable way that the poor class and the rich class are vastly different, and the way that people live their lives is vastly different in this continuity of films, television shows, or just what the Purge world is. And that's what I really hope we explore more of in this television show, is just what the mentality of all these people are and how they kind of live with themselves, or why they think that this is just a perfect situation. It's a great opportunity to look at some of the civilization, the civilization of people outside of the political. Maybe it is political, but these people aren't involved in the politics of it, and this is what they rationalize the Purge actually being. We kind of got a little bit of that in the first film, but considering Ethan Hawke's family in the first film didn't participate in the Purge, it doesn't really fit the bill. I want to see what these people who look like, you know, these masks right here that you could see people wearing, what are their thoughts on this? Instead of just being something there to scare us in a movie, this is something we can really flesh out in a television show, and that's one of the things I'm really excited about. 10 episodes. See, and that's the thing, like, doesn't this situation, and like I said, you know, please, if you watch this all by yourself, I'm going to go straight back and forth. I'm going to be taking my time talking about this as I see fit. But doesn't this shot kind of remind you of what we saw throughout the first film, where we're going to be exploring someone on the run from people who believe it's their right to purge, or people who have some kind of vendetta against each other? I know that's one thing they've talked about in the past, where they want to explore this concept of what it's like to live in this world where they all know that they have this 12-hour period to get back on anyone who's wronged them or pissed them off last week or something like that. Maybe that's what we're seeing here, but I feel like this shot is something that kind of worries me. I don't want it to be a reiteration of what happened in the first film where someone's on the run or people get caught up in something that they shouldn't be involved in or anything else like that. If you're going to make a television show, explore the worlds outside of what we see in every single movie, you know, without the politics, without the anything else like that. Just show us what other people are doing. Like, are people robbing each other? Are people doing anything else? This isn't just about people going on the streets and killing each other. All crime is legal for 12 hours. I want to see what other people do, explore this concept in a really unique way. I mean, what do Walmarts do? What do any of these box stores do, or real estate companies, or any of these other people do in order to stop thieves from going in and just raiding everything? You know, Amazon with their retail shops or their warehouses full of just complete and utter crap. What do? Do they hire a small mercenary army to stay there all night, and people plan for that? Casinos, do people try to rob casinos like in a Ocean's 11 type of thing? That would be cool. We're not really getting to see that here, and I know for a fact that's not what they're going to be focusing on. You could say yes or no whether you like that, but I really wish we would explore that part of this world. Hopefully, you know, at some point we can, if this show or this television series goes into another season, or we get more and more movies, we can explore this a little bit more. But like I said, there are reasons why they don't do that, and I'll cover it at the very end of this video when I get to it eventually.
Tonight.
See, like, and this is kind of cool, like this bus and people going around, but it doesn't seem like the normal kill buses that we see from the franchise. I can't wait to see what this is all about. I really am very excited for this show.
We celebrate.
It's like a religious cult? I'm sorry, just doing this all over the place. Is this like a religious cult, or one of the things like, oh, we completely interpret the Purge in our own particular way, and this is like God's will or something else like that? I mean, the franchise has always dealt with political fixations or love of country or anything else like that, but it hasn't ever delved into anything religious. I think that would be really cool if they decided to do that. I mean, that's a whole nother can of worms when it comes to digging into the psyche of people and what we would actually do if something like this was allowed, if we felt like this was just and righteous, not just simply for a political or for love of my nation aspect, but also this is what God wants us to do. That would be kind of cool to explore too. Something I hadn't really ever thought about. So if that's their angle here, you know, good on them. I think that would be fun to see.
Make this country great. Let the fun begin.
There must be something you need to purge.
See, and I stopped it over there, but look, you know, this thing is like, we've seen this all before. Yes, it's in passing, and now we're going to see these characters, and really, I hope this is something that leads up to the very end of this scene, and we see that these people have been kind of dealing with this whole thing, like, oh, should I purge, should I not purge, what's the moral philosophy here when we're rich, and this is something that we're just supposed to do if we love our nation or something else like that. Otherwise, this is something we've seen before in the movies, and it was covered well there, but very briefly, and had a lot more emotional impact unless they take their time to deal with the fallout or the character interactions or the mob mentality of what it's like to be in this situation, which would be interesting. And with 10 episodes, I really hope that's their focus. I really hope that's what they end up doing, and why I'm really excited to see this show.
You need to purge.
It's purge night. Anything goes.
So September 4th is when we're going to be able to see this. And I wanted to just say, I let the last part of it play out because I know this video has been way longer than you might have actually anticipated for a 40-second film clip. But at the same time, the one thing the Purge movies have always gotten themselves into is this idea that you have racially charged black-white mentalities in America. And this is something that seems like a natural extension of our nation's just overt racism. And you really can't knock them for thinking this, for doing this, and for the success of the films, because this obviously resonates with a lot of people. And I don't want to make my channel anything like, political or something. I do kind of delve into it on other platforms that I have on social media, but I really try to take myself out of that, especially more recently. I'm completely aware of the impact of these movies when it comes to certain people culturally, and why they like them, and why it's somewhat terrifying for a growing minority of this country to see these films and see the implications of these films in a less fictitious way going on in our day-to-day lives. And I think that's one of the reasons these movies and this franchise will continue in the future, because I think it will resonate still. And that's why they focus on what they focus on, and just the overt violence of what a 12-hour period would actually be like if people could just kill each other for no reason and without any repercussions. And some people already live like that and it's absolutely terrifying, and it's completely unacceptable. And this is one of the things that will keep this franchise going, because it's something that we can relate to, or at least is embedded in our deepest of fears, and the apex of white privilege or anything else like that. I mean, you could throw me under the bus in the comment section below if you really want to go after me with this. That's just what this is, and it perfectly resonates. And I think that's one of the reasons that this is so successful, and one of the reasons I've continued to support it, because I think it does serve the right message at this day and time. Even though that's crazy, that this is so outlandish, and could be the future that we're living in, and nothing about this is okay. Nothing. That's the underlying tone of every single Purge entity or content that they've ever produced. Is nothing about this future or this thought of the future is okay in our society. This is not what America is about, and this isn't what we should strive for. And that is the saddest thing, is I think we're living in a world where this is becoming more and more plausible, or more and more on people's tongues. And, we should be afraid of this concept. So you might think otherwise, you might not. And one of the things I really do not like about it is because it's so charged in that direction, accurately so, in my opinion, we can't explore this franchise for all of the other awesome things that it could really bring. Like so many other fun concepts and other movies that don't have to be horror centric, just an interesting like action movie that takes place during this or anything. I mean, this could really run the gauntlet of every single genre, despite the horrific nature of this. But the reason it is what it is, and it won't ever really stray too far away from it, is because it has to be what it is, and it has to keep reiterating this tone of this is not okay. And for whatever reason, we keep kind of throwing ourselves into Purge mentality, or the overt racism that creates this for love of God and nation mentality of everyone who wants to purge in these movies in our day-to-day lives. And that is just my thought, like my unfiltered thoughts on it. Like I said, just jumping right into here, not really thinking overly a whole lot of what I'm going to say beforehand. If I'm wrong and you have a legitimate opinion, then share it in the comment section below. If you think I'm right, then tell me in the comment section below. We'll discuss it further. But regardless, September 4th, September and August in general are going to be pretty awesome for content coming out, and I cannot wait for this show. I will cover it on my channel. I can't wait for the Purge movie, the first Purge, coming out in just a couple of days. I'm probably going to sit down and do some kind of a review on it. Hopefully, if I have time, I'll sit down and watch all 3 movies, because this is just one of those weird horror franchises that kind of came out of nowhere, but getting me more and more excited the more and more I see of it. And I'm really hoping we get a Purge 5 and Purge 6. Heck, I would go for a Purge 7 and 8 and all these other things. Tell me in the comment section below whether you agree with me or don't agree with me. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. It's been real.